Welcome. Hi, Ruben.
Hello,
Welcome.
Kimberly. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone, to A Course of Love book reading, book gathering, written by Perron, first receiver. So, tonight, welcome. Make yourself comfortable and warm. We are on page 316, chapter 11, The Temptations of the Human Experience. If at any time anyone wants to read, simply raise hand, okay? The temptations of the human experience. Consciousness is a state of awareness. The statement, I am, is a statement of awareness. It has been seen as a statement of awareness of the self. Those existing within the house of illusion are aware of the self, but are unaware that the self of illusion, the self that exists in illusion, is an illusionary self. This could be further stated as those who exist in the house of illusion are aware of the personal self alone and believe the personal self to be who they are. Further, they believe the personal self to be the truth of the statement, I am. Those existing within the house of truth also feel an awareness of self, capital S, without necessarily being able to put it into words. They no longer feel the statement of I am as a statement of the personal self or the self alone. For those existing in the house of truth, I am has become something larger and all-encompassing recognition of the unity of all things with which the self, capital S, coexists in truth and peace and love. These words, truth and peace and love, are interchangeable in the house of truth, as their meaning there is the same. These words, like the words house of truth, represent an awareness of a new reality, a new dwelling place. The word house, as used in the house of truth, does not represent a structure, but a dwelling place. The word house, as used in the house of illusion, does represent the structure. The house of illusion is a construction meant to shield the personal self from all that it would fear. The house of truth is the dwelling place of those who no longer live in fear and thus have no need for a structure of seeming protection. The house of illusion is the stage on which the drama of the human experience has been acted out. During the time I spent on earth, I did not dwell in the house of illusion. But in the house of truth. What this means is that I was aware of the truth and lived by the truth. I was aware of the peace of God and lived within the peace of God. I was aware of the love of God, and the love of God lived within me. This is what you are now called to do. Be aware that the love of God lives within you. Live within the peace of God. Live by the truth. This could be restated as you are love. You live in peace. You live by or in accord with the truth. I have called the kingdom of God the house of truth rather than the house of peace for a reason. What you are learning is no longer that the kingdom of God or the house of truth exists, but how to live within it. The question of how to live within it is best addressed by concentrating on living according to the truth. While a lack of judgment has been stressed many times, and we have adhered to the precept of not judging by denying any right or wrong, the difference between truth and illusion can no longer be denied. To realize the difference between truth and illusion is not to call one right and the other wrong, but to simply recognize what they are. This is an important distinction that must be kept in mind as we proceed, so that you are not tempted to judge those living in illusion or their reality. Their reality does not exist. Believing in the reality of illusion will never make it the truth. Thus we begin to address the temptations of the human experience. Two are spoken of in tandem here: the temptation to judge and the temptation to accept the existence of a reality other than the truth. If I can tell you in truth that you are no different than I am, then you must see that you cannot begin to think of yourself as different than your brothers and sisters. All exist in the house of truth. The house of illusion exists within the house of truth because it is where your brothers and sisters think they are. The house of illusion is not a hell to which anyone has been banished. It can at times be a chosen hell, just as it can at times be a chosen heaven. Choice and the awareness of the power of choice that exists within is all that differentiates one from the other. You must not see your brothers and sisters within the house of illusion, but must see them where they truly are, within the house of truth. As soon as you would see the house of illusion, you would make it real, and with its reality, judgment would be upon you. Not any judgment of God, but judgment of your own mind. I remind you here that you are not being asked to see anything that is not the truth. This is why the word see is consciously used here, and why we now refrain from use of the word perceive. Perception is gone as soon as you truly see. You will, of course, continue to be aware that very few realize that they exist in the house of truth. You will, in truth, for quite some time, be striving to remain aware, even that you have changed during places. There is a reason for this time of varying degrees of awareness. As the old continues to help you learn lessons of the new, you will be seeing how the lessons of the illusion can be useful in a new way to your brothers and sisters as well. Never forget that what was made for your use can be used in a new way and to produce a new outcome. Do not be afraid to use anything available within the house of illusion to promote the recognition of truth. Do not be afraid of the house of illusion at all. What illusion can frighten those who know the truth? The first lesson on the temptation of the human experience comes in truth as a warning against righteousness. It comes to remind you as you replace the thought system of illusion with the thought system of the truth, that having remembered the truth of who you're called to forget the personal self who would find this cause for righteousness. You are not right and others wrong. This temptation will not long be with you, for once the old thought system is thoroughly translated to the new, such ideas as right and wrong will be no more. It is only for this transitional phase that this and all such reminders regarding the temptations of the human experience are necessary. How you feel, Ruben?
I feel peaceful
Yeah,
knowing that no matter what I say, what we do, we still remain in the house of truth. We,
thank God.
we just need to be aware.
Yeah, I have to just keep reminding ourselves I
Yeah.
am in the house of truth. No matter what we see, no matter what we hear or experience. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a temptation. That's what he said. Wow.
In 14.7, it say, this is what you are now called to do. Be aware that the love of God lives within you. Live within the peace of God. Live by the truth. It is a continuous learning and unlearning.
But it
Learning.
happens at the same time.
Yes.
The learning and unlearning is like giving and receiving are one. It
Yeah.
happens all at one time.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you, Ruben.
I'll see you next week.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so we will continue chapter 12, the physical self in the house of truth. Consciousness is a state of awareness. The statement, I am, is a statement of awareness of consciousness. Awareness preceded the statement of I am. I am preceded the creation of the self, capital S. The self, capital, preceded the establishment of the personal self. You exist within the time of consciousness of the personal self. Thus, we begin our work with the personal self, while also realizing that the personal self is a step in the chain of consciousness. The steps that came before that of the personal self did not come within time. The creation of time was simultaneous with the creation of the personal self. Because the steps that came before that of the personal self did not come in time, they are eternal. Eternal levels of consciousness that still exist and have always existed. Temptations of the human experience exist only in time. What we are about to do is move the human experience out of the realm of time. For this to happen, we must remove the time-bound temptations of the human experience of the personal self. Matter or form is bound by time. Spirit is not. The house of truth cannot be bound by time and be a house of truth. How then can the personal self begin to realize the human experience outside of time? The answer is thus: by changing the consciousness of the personal self from a time-bound state of consciousness to an eternal state of consciousness. This change, as has been said before, is the miracle. This miracle is the goal toward which we now work. Realize that prior to this point, our goal was returning to your awareness the truth of your identity. By changing our goal now, I am assuring you that you have become aware of the truth of your identity. The goal of this course has been accomplished. However, while your consciousness remains time-bound, your awareness is still limited. As has already been stated, in order to remove the limits that continue to exist, we must remove all time-bound temptations. These temptations are not temptations of the body. They may seem to be, but the body is neutral. All temptations originate in the mind and are transferred to the body. Temptations do not originate from love. While some temptations will seem to be of love, they are not. As it dawns upon your once slumbering mind that change on a grand scale awaits you, you will grow fearful if you do not realize that what is being proposed to you here is something completely new, something you have not even dreamed of. This state you have not even dared to dream of is a state in which only God's laws of love exist, even within the realm of physicality. What this means is that all that in this human experience has come of love will be retained. All that will be lost is what has come of fear. Let's return a moment to the choice that was made for the human experience. The choice to express who you are in the realm of physicality. You were not better or more right before this choice was made than you are now. You made a choice consistent with laws of creation and the steps of creation outlined above. From this choice, many experiences ensued. Some of these experiences were the result of fear, some the result of love. The choice to express who you are in physical terms was not a choice made of fear, but made of love. A physical self is not inconsistent with the laws of God or of creation. It is simply a choice. The life of the physical self became a life of suffering and strife only because the physical or personal self forgot that it exists in relationship and believed itself to be separate and alone. In its fear, it made an ego self which, because it sprang from fear, was not consistent with the laws of love or of creation. Knowing it existed in a state inconsistent with that of the laws of God, it made of God a being to be feared, thus continuing and being unable to find release from the cycle of fear. What would be a greater step in all of creation than a physical self able to choose to express the self, capital S, within the laws of love? A physical self able to express itself from within the house of truth in ways consistent with peace and love is the next step in creation, the rebirth of the Son of God, known as the resurrection. While this would seem to say that mistakes may occur within creation, remember that creation is about change and growth. There is no right or wrong within creation, but there are stages of growth and change. Humankind is now passing through a tremendous stage of growth and change. Are you ready? Dear beloved souls, that ends chapter 12. We will pause here. That was quite a lot. Return to this next week. Thank you for joining. And if you are new to hearing this is a course of love written by Marie Perron, first receiver. First receiver because she received it from your Jesus, Yeshua ben Joseph HaMashiach. And so that's who's speaking to us. Oh yes. All the previous recordings of all previous chapters are recorded and they're on YouTube, all in one folder under Kimberly, 8th day, 8th day. So you can find them all there and catch up or re-listen to any chapters that you like, or especially this, join live with me every Monday at 8 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for joining. Love and peace. Thank you.